There's been a lot of talk about the Scottish independence and the referendum vote, and I thought we'd touch upon what Scotland is actually voting for. Now, this video has been triggered as a slight response to David Bowie's very decent, and I'm so pleased he's getting involved in the Scottish politics, because the referendum in Scotland is an issue that we would love people to talk about. And it shows that he cares and he feels for things, and this is really important, and he's a great man. But I thought we would clarify exactly what it is that's going on up in Scotland here and what we're actually voting for. What I'd like to show you, I'd like to show David, is this map here. So this is a map of the UK before independence. Now, come September, when Scotland votes and we vote yes, then this is what the map will look like after we vote yes in the independence. Yeah, it looks identical. And this is some of the thing, I think some of the pictures that have been painted, is that this whole top end here is going to break off and float off into some other place, into the Atlantic and the North Sea somewhere. It's simply not going to happen. It's not going to look any different than it does today. What we're actually voting for in Scotland is political independence. It's not geographical independence, it's not any other kind of big independence. We're just looking at political independence. And the reason that we're doing all this, for me, and this is only my personal opinion, is actually it's to find an improvement in our existing democracy. You have a democratic system in the UK and in Scotland, of course, but it's a little flawed, it's a little broken, and with Scotland voting independent, then it becomes a little better, not just in Scotland, but also in the rest of the UK as well. The UK has had to suffer some political parties and some political governments that it probably wouldn't have voted for if it hadn't been for a huge Scottish vote in one direction. So that we even up here are skewing and upsetting the democracy down south. So it's not just improved democracy in Scotland, but also improved democracy in the rest of the UK. And again, coming back to our original map and looking at the map again, you know what? We'll still be trading after we vote yes in an independence. There will still be huge amounts of trade going between Scotland and England and Scotland and Wales, Northern Ireland, as there always has been. That's not going to change. And you know what? We'll still be neighbours. Very important neighbours, very good neighbours. We've always been good neighbours, and that's not going to change. I'm still going to go down to England and down to Wales, and I'm pretty sure that all of them will still come up to Scotland, particularly for the good weather and the holidays. So what are we voting for in Scotland? Self-determination. This is a really important thing for any nation. All nations deserve to have and enjoy self-determination. And Scotland is an old and ancient nation with very much its own cultural identity. And why wouldn't it also want, in the same way as many other countries, hundreds of other countries have wanted self-determination? Is it an unreasonable thing to expect of the Scottish nation? And again, after our independence, coming back to our remap, you know what? We'll still be visiting. You'll still be visiting us, we'll still be visiting you. And you know what? We'll still be friends. This is the crazy thing. And it seems to be that everybody's trying to do everything to flag up this situation that we'll no longer be friends if we vote yes in independence. Of course we will. It won't make any difference. I will still have tons of English and Welsh friends south of the border, and they will still have a friend in me. That's not going to change. So again, what are we voting for? What are we looking for? Well, for me, I'm looking for increased accountability. I love the fact that my members of Parliament will be half an hour down the road, that I can easily get into my car or onto a train, and in 30 minutes I can be in the House of Parliament. I can get hold of them, I can contact them and talk to them and hear their debates. I can actually go into a parliament because it's only just down the road and hear what they've got to say. I can get a hold of them, I can ask them questions, I can look them in the eye, and I can make my presence felt, and therefore I can hold them more accountable. That's difficult to do when they're hundreds of miles away in another country. Another big issue for Scotland, and I think this might be one of the most obvious ones, is actually this, what I would call increased relevancy. And this is a bit like, in my house, I work from home, my wife works from home. I like to work in a colder environment, in a colder room. She likes to work in a warm room. We're in different rooms of the house, but thankfully I have a radiator thermostat on the radiator in this room, which means that I can get the temperature in this room to suit me. It also therefore means that Julie can get the temperature in her room to suit her. We don't need to compromise in the middle, a temperature that doesn't suit either of us. I don't need to get roasted, Julie doesn't need to be frozen, because we have thermostat. And then if Scotland has its independence and its own parliament, then it can make policies that are absolutely relevant to Scotland and the people of Scotland within the wishes of the people of Scotland. And for many, many years, these have been different choices from the ones that would be made in Westminster. And therefore, it gives us a chance to have more relevant policies in Scotland, relevant to the people of Scotland. Now, things that we're not voting for come September, we're actually not voting for a political party. That's not what's going on here. Nor are we actually voting on specific policies. You see, the thing about politics is that they get made by people, they get changed, they evolve. The parties will change, the MPs will change, the policies themselves will change. This is the nature of any democracy and government. I'm hoping that with an efficient and dynamic, smaller country, then we can improve and make these changes quickly and easily and cost effectively. And therefore, the policies, even the ones that have been discussed today, aren't necessarily the policies that will be in play in a couple of years' time, because at the end of the day, this is a vote about us being able to choose the policies and how we choose those policies. We're not actually voting on the policies themselves. So as I say, I'm really moved that David would make a comment about Scottish independence. I encourage everybody to get involved and discuss it and stay friends in the process of doing so. But he needs to know that it's okay, that actually things up here are okay, they're absolutely fine, and that independence isn't something he should worry about. Scottish independence is something he can actually enjoy and celebrate and be grateful and be glad for us, because there is no loss to the people of England or Wales. There is only gain for the people of Scotland. And he should also know and take comfort that, you know what, Scotland will be fine. When we vote yes, it'll be fine. We'll still be here, we'll not float off to the North Sea. We'll still be friends, we'll still do our trade, we will still visit each other. Pretty much for you and me and most of the people, it'll be relationships and business as usual. Okay, I'm Martin. Thanks very much for watching.